what I knew growing up as a Quaker is that we took risks, that Mary Dyer went back to the Boston Common, that John Woolman went and talked to people about where they purchased their clothing. There were Quakers that helped with the Underground Railroad, et cetera, people who would even take personal risk to stand up for the truth as they saw it.
I visited Israel many, many times in my life, going back to when I was a kid. And I would always go on the hermetically sealed trip. In other words, I would go to the Jewish parts of Israel. And it wasn't until later as an adult that I literally crossed the line and spent time in the West Bank. I realized that we really have in this tiny little land two radically different universes. When you're in Tel Aviv, you can be sipping cappuccino, by the beach in a cafe, and literally just a few kilometers to your south is the Gaza Strip, which is one of the most hellish places to live on earth.
People are only concerned about living their days, about the basic things of life. For example, getting electricity, which they get only they get 6 hours a day, getting water, clean water, getting jobs. You have skyrocketing rates of unemployment, around 60% or even more. People are unemployed, especially youth. So youth don't see that there is a future even in Gaza.
If they stop my father's car in Ramallah and he shows them his ID and it's blue, its color is blue, and my sister is in the car with him and she shows them her green ID, West Bank ID, it means that he has to pay a little bit more than $1,500 and his car is taken away from him for 3 months. It's illegal that he drives his daughter around in his car.
When I went to Heriza checkpoint in order to cross to present-day Israel, I was expecting that I will see Israeli soldiers face-to-face, because I have never been in all my life in direct contact with an Israeli soldiers. But to my astonishment, when I arrived there, it was like watching a science fiction movie, because everything there it was with signs, with colored lights. And then I saw an Israeli soldier who is sitting behind her desk behind a glass window. So she asked me to take off all my clothes, and I was like completely surprised. I said, "Why?" She said, "Just like this. Take off your clothes and put them in the machine." So I did, but then after I got out, I kept crying, because I felt that, again, I have been humiliated. It's not enough for them to impose the siege. It wasn't enough for them to launch 3 massive attacks. Still, they keep humiliating us.
My first involvement in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict was on an Earlham College study abroad program in 1982. And since then, I've been committed to this issue. Oftentimes people ask me, how can you do this work for so long? I think, well, how can I not work on it? How can I, with the knowledge that I have and the experiences that I've had over all these many decades, how can I not work on it? Why should I have the luxury of stopping when all these people, these young people, old people, who live under such hardship, they're not giving up. I don't feel I have the luxury of despair.
As American people of faith, we need to speak our conscience, and we need to find the courage of our convictions. And if we believe in values such as equality for all, regardless of our race or religion or ethnic background, then in this land that is so sacred to so many people, not only Jews, Christians and Muslims, we need to find the courage of our convictions to call for justice. My conscience tells me, and my religious faith tells me, that when you see oppression going on, you call out the oppressor and you stand with the oppressed.
Because we are working on the right to freedom of movement, we said, okay, we want to determine the companies that are complicit in violating our right to freedom of movement. We decided to choose HP because HP is complicit in settlement activities, and they provide surveillance equipment and technology for the separation wall. They provide technology to surveillance technology to Israeli prisons.
Not because I hate Israel as Israel, but because I hate the oppressive system of Israel. And not because I want to destroy the Israelis or the Jews, but because I want this apartheid system of discriminatory policies to be ended. So I'm asking the American citizens to come in solidarity with our struggle with the Palestinians, and to say no more to what Israel is doing.
We look at all the social movements that Quakers have been active in, and we're proud that we were on the right side of history. And I want the Palestinian-Israeli conflict to be in that narrative. I want us to feel that it is the continuum. We're calling for nonviolent means to end the Israeli occupation. We have a vision of Israelis and Palestinians living together in equality. We want historical injustices to be addressed. I want that to be seen not as an aberration, but a continuum of this history. And for Quakers to feel that that's exactly where we need to be.